Hey everyone, welcome back to All About the Geek. We have something special and unexpected for you today. My buddy Matt, who runs my favorite local game store, got his Indomitus preview box in. Now, unfortunately, Matt's business had a fire back in April, and so he doesn't currently have a storefront to show off this lovely box set. So he called me up and said, hey, why don't you make a video? We can throw it up on the store page and everything. So instead of having the preview set there for people to paw over, which they probably shouldn't during a pandemic anyway, we're going to do an unboxing today. And I'm going to be honest, I have not done one of these before. This is my first unboxing. I'd planned on prepping and doing stuff. So it's a little rough, but here we have our lovely Indomitus box and the weapon with which we will open it cautiously. So it is a hefty beast. I should have given it a quick bump on the scale, but I would imagining it's probably 2.5, 3 kilos, so 5 pounds. Hard to say. Let's just get this plastic. It's not quite as entertaining as a peel. So let's slowly lift off the box. While I'm lifting off the box and you're just sitting there, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And if you enjoy the video at the end, why don't you hit the like? So there is the initial bit, a lovely piece of art. They started doing this with some of the other boxes earlier. It's double-sided, got a little barcode, but nothing other than just a lovely piece of art that you could put on your wall or what have you. I'm just going to put it in the top of the box. Because this unfortunately does have to go back to Matt. I don't get to keep this. Alright, so first thing we have are some of the Space Marine sprues. These appear to be some relatively simple push fit minis. The camera is not picking them up well right now. But you can see them there. We'll do some close-ups of each of them a little bit later and maybe do some, like I said, later this weekend I'll do a more in-depth review. So there's our bikes for the Indomitus Crusaders. More Space Marines. Ooh, here's some of our heroes. We'll take a close look at that one in a moment. Necrons. More Necrons. Holy Necron Batman. Kind of excited to see what all these look like. Ooh, I love this. Let's see if we can get the camera to behave here. There we go. Scarab swarms. Those look beautiful. Something I feel we've been missing for a long time is just a swarm of scarabs as a single fig. But we'll go through and, like I said, with a slightly better setup, we'll take a look at each of these sprues in turn. More Necrons. And finally, we've got some more of the Indomitus Space Marines. So in total, we've got 2, 3, 4 of the double width sprues, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 of the half width, and then 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3 of the slightly smaller character scale size, I would say, is kind of what we're looking at there. Then we have another lovely piece of art. This looks to be the same piece that was there earlier. I think this will be a great backdrop for when we're looking at the minis up close in a few moments. All right, the Edge of Silence. We'll take a look at that. I think this is going to be the quick start guide and the instructions on how to assemble the miniatures. Oh, that's a chonky boy. That is a chonky core rulebook and a lovely, lovely cover. I mean, I'd prefer it. That should be the lion. We can leave that as Abaddon, that's fine. Rowboat can sit there. But just beautiful, beautiful artwork for just the regular edition, right? Remember, folks, there's a special edition book. I don't know, I think I like this one better. All right, so let's see what else. I'm just gonna put this aside over here for a moment. We've got a little Indomitus, so a little advert for the novel that goes along with this. And then we've got some transfers, so that way you can turn your Indomitus Marines into a good selection. You've got Dark Angels represented, some Ravenwing, Space Wolves, Blood Angels, Ultramarines. I'm kind of disappointed that we're not seeing any White Scars or Raven Guard tokens on there. That would have been a nice add, especially since you've got some in there. We've got some second founding chapters of the Dark Angels represented, and I think some of those are some second founding Blood Angels. Honestly, I'm not that familiar with the Blood Angel second founding, so I can't say for sure. Fair bit of product here. And then under here we've got the bases and some extra bases here, some bigger ones for some of the other minis. So let's set up for some of the close-ups of the sprues, and we'll get back to that in just a second. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the minis up close. So I'm not going to go through all of them in extreme detail, but let's take a look at some of the characters, the bikes, which I think are really interesting, and then we'll take a look at the other sprues in a more general way. So starting with the Space Marine hero, he's going to be a little inverted at the moment. So there we go. There's his main torso and his iron halo and some lovely bits. We've got the shield there and the terrain, the pre-textured base. And I'm pretty sure that that's intended to be some base decoration there. A nice squished dead Necron. We have some head options here, which is nice to see in the push to fit model option, and some more of that textured base, along with some details for the banner, etc. His power sword looks pretty good. So then we've got our Necron leader, who is on the same sprue. Oh, there we go. So some lovely Necron love for all those Neko players out there. There we go. The weapon has some nice texture, so you can put some cool energy field effects going on there. As always, I really feel GW does an amazing job with these models, given how simple they are and the intent to open this up to a new player. So here we have the Blade Guard. I'll be honest, I have not paid too terrible close attention to some of the details around some of these miniatures. Wanting to wait for the surprise and the reveal myself. There's the back of his head. And the torso. Oopsie. As I said, this is my first time doing something like this, so bear with me a little bit. There's the front. Again, push to fit, so you're not going to have unlimited options. Let's just get a lovely head there. You're not going to have unlimited options for how these go together, but they do give you a few options. That Gauss flare of some sort. I do like this chain motif they've got going on for the Necrons, which started a few years ago with some of the other models. And then just a little bit of a diorama style base just at the foot there. There we go. Little human skull. Not that there isn't enough human skulls floating around in 40k as it is. All right. Now this is one that I was really interested in, is the look of these bikes, which some people have commented, like, how exactly is that Space Marine bike expected to clear terrain? But the fact that they haven't even bothered to try to make the wheels round and made them flat on one side, I think is really smart. There's the back side of the wheels, because frankly it just makes it easier to attach them to a base or potentially for the building of the miniature. I'm assuming that this part here is going to go inside the wheel well. Chain sword, which looks like to be some add-on kit that you can put on the miniature. Chain swords wielded, along with bolter. Let's see if there's any other really standout pieces here. Here's one of the helmets. There we go. Oh, come on. Focus. There we go. I think that's in focus. Yeah. Did not want you to flip upside down. Oh, now it's focusing on something completely different. Ah. There we go. So there's some of the pipes and stuff. The bikes actually are, I'm going to be honest, a little on the boring side at first glance. You know, bolters and chain swords, cool. But I'd like a little bit more than that, I think. But of course, they're push fit together. Yeah. They're easy to assemble miniatures, so there's going to be some limitations. And without a doubt, based on what we've seen from Games Workshop in the past, this will get replaced with a more full-fledged kit. Now, I'm only going to do a very brief review of some of these Marine kits. I want to do a little bit more, so I'm going to get you one more Marine kit in this unboxing preview, and then we'll jump onto the Necron stuff, which I think is far more interesting. So here is another Marine sprue. We've got more chain swords. We've got some a lovely plasma pistol here, which is nice. Bolters, chain swords. All in all, I mean, these are lovely models, and definitely when you start thinking about a $200 US or $240 Canadian price point, the value is it's undeniable. Like, you figure a set of 3 bikers currently is around $45-50, and then a couple more box sets and a couple of characters, you've got $250 in the Imperial side alone before you even get to all the Necron juiciness. So, speaking of the juicy Necron bits, so we've got another one of those. They're lovely glavy weapons with the wicked looking barbs on the end. This piece is interesting because you've got the head and arm all attached as one piece. So one of the things that people will need to be aware of as they're assembling these models in 2 weeks' time is that obviously they're going to be a little more specific about what goes together. You can't just willy-nilly assemble these bits. But there's some terrain, some basing pre-built into some of these miniatures. Reminds me a little bit of the Gene Stealers that came in the Space Hulk box set from a few years back. So there's some more Necron terrain that the miniature will be attached to, and a cool spiky leg bit right there. All right. So these are 2 of the other Necron sprues. This is for that weird triped doodad. So there's the legs. Let's just try to get that all in one shot there. So yeah, so there you see it. Let's just flip it around and see the other side. There's some more of the legs there. And we can take a close look up of this piece. So there we go, one of the Gauss weapons. The back of one, oh, there we go. The back piece, I think. Honestly, I haven't opened up the instructions, so I don't know how these go together. I'm guessing at how this is going to assemble. We'll take a look at the book in a moment. The miniatures is what you're all here for. I know that, without a doubt. But definitely come back for more information as this goes on. And once Indomitus releases, I'll be putting together some down and dirty, getting your Necrons on the table guide, and get this whole mess assembled and painted up, and show you the quick way to put them out to get your friends playing with you if they don't currently play 40k. All right, so that's that one. And then we've got our warriors, which I think are clearly the backbone, I made a bad pun, of the Necron army. This is obviously 2 duplicate sprues here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 warriors per sprue by the looks of things. We've got our, again, I love the scarab swarms done like this. It's just going to be super easy to put down and paint. Some terrain bits for on the basing by the looks of things. I assume that's for the scarab swarms by the looks of the holes and the spikes. And these are actually not identical sprues, so that is a mistake. And we've got here 1, 2, oh, there we go. 3 scarab swarms between these 2 sprues. So that's lovely. And of course, we've got all the bases, all our Gauss guns. That looks like some sort of Gauss sniper rifle type thing right there. I'm sure Necron players are going, oh my gosh, Jason, don't you know anything about the Necrons? Man, I remember when the Necrons had like 4 units. They had Necron warriors, they had destroyers, pariahs, and flayed ones. And that was about it. And then you had the monolith. These things look awesome. I love the heads. See if we can get the camera to play nice with the focus. Focus. There we go. Lovely head. All right, so those are the sprues that we're going to take a look at right now. The rulebook. So I'm not going to be going through the rules here page by page, but just taking a look at some of the beauteous bits of this tome. So as always, let's get this right side up for y'all. We've got some lovely images talking about the hobby, collecting, fold out of the Segmentum Solar, the whole galaxy. You'll have to buy your own to take a look at it. I don't want freeze frames of this floating around the internet for the next 2 weeks. Oh my goodness, I saw that stuff. You see some of it. So, gorgeous art. I'm just going to tilt the camera here. Let's just fix this. There. And now we can more better. So again, Rule of the Imperium, just some history stuff. Angels of Death. Really? Angels of Death and you're going to give me Blood Angels? Games Workshop, you piss me off. I love you. All right, Perils of the Unknown, Enemy Within, all of that. Oh, look, all the fluff. I love the fluff. We all love the fluff. Oh. See, that's a poster. I want that as a poster. Why didn't we get that as a poster? The Indomitus Crusade. Oh, there it is. The Skydrop Battle Bunker of Doom. Knights are like null oil. They replace skill. The Lost and the Damned. Still more Warzone Vigilus. That's kind of cool. So, talks is this portion here, some armies that were battling the Warzone Vigilus. So I wonder how many of those are, I'm not going to go through all of them. Chaos Demons, Legions of the Dark Lord, Craft World Eldari. It's our lovely Eldar. Greenskin Horde. Some Xenos Showcase. I love the bit. I've been slowly getting, sort of like halfway through it. 177 pages here, folks. Necrons. Sure, there's also a description. Literally, this is the first time I'm thumbing through this book. So, the rules key. How to play Warhammer 40,000. Don't worry about the little dots on my hand. It's mosquito season. They love me. Basic rules, measuring distances, movement phase. Most of this stuff is available online. I haven't actually looked at that yet. I'm kind of waiting, as I said in my Keep Calm video, for the end bits, for once we have it all. Consolidation. So what are we talking here? So rules start on page 194. So 194 pages in. So prior to this, you've got 193 pages of art and fluff. I think that's brilliant. You may not like it. It's okay. Everyone's allowed to be wrong sometimes. So we've got, what are we at? 4 pages. So 194. So now we're at 20 pages to the psychic phase. 223, 224. So there's 30 pages. We're at the charge phase. 230. So we're coming up on 40 pages for morale. Oh, some more lovely art in the middle of the rules. Yeah, so we're into missions. So we've got about 40 pages to cover the rules, which I haven't gone through every page. Not sure what's all in there, but that's solid. I think that's a reasonable rule set. All of the missions, the stuff about the new force sizes is there. Angels of Darkness, the Dark Angels. So nice. Talk about detachments and building your army. Some Thousand Sun stuff. Different actions, performing actions. Some rules let a unit perform an action. Terrain features. Honestly, one of the pieces I'm very interested in. So supplemental stuff that add to it. You know, we're at, coming up on 80 pages. Open Hostility Mission Pack. Cool. So here, at 80 pages, we're into missions. And then we're into matched play before we hit 90 pages, talking about all of the Eternal War objectives, more missions. Just lots of ways to play, which I think is great. Presumably this will all be covered again in the cards. So where are we at? We are at 110 pages for the main rule piece. So getting into narrative play at 110 pages. Crusade forces. Requisition points. So this is all going to be the narrative play stuff where you can upgrade your team, rearm and supply. I love this concept. Then we got battle traits. This is all still, so we're looking at, 20 pages in of Crusade pieces. So your unit, power rating, Crusade points, how they've spent their things. I think that's just a brilliant mission pack for Crusade. So especially right now when we're not going to be getting together in large groups, Crusade is a great way to play the game a little bit differently with the people you live with or your slightly expanded bubbles as we go through here. Assassinate mission. And yeah, I am deliberately going through here fast enough so that way you guys aren't just screen capping things and you don't get the whole book. It's not my that's not my jam. Stealing the book. And then Designer's Compliments and Blast Weapons. This appendix is an alphabetical list of weapons that gain the blast ability. So that's your blast weapons, folks. Aircraft. Rare rules. I think it's going to be solid. Rules term and glossary. That's something we've needed for a long time. A terms glossary. How many times have we spent, oh my goodness, literally the best 40k rulebook I've seen in 7 editions. So going back to 3rd edition, that's it, boys and girls. That is the best Games Workshop rulebook I have ever seen. Now, admittedly, I skimmed it. I haven't actually read the rules. I'm just going through, but thumbing through it at an initial pass. This is the business. All right, that's where I'm going to leave it. We're almost 30 minutes here for this unboxing, which is a lot longer than I planned. Let's just see if we can do this. Woo. There we go. Hey, so thanks all for joining me. As always, there's going to be more content coming. And I said it earlier, throw a like if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe. It definitely helps. Small growing channel right now. But until next time, please remember, work your wonk. Be kind, be safe. But most importantly, keep it geeky.